some progress for Bergeron, but no for tonight, or?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's progressing well, so he's day by day, but he's a no for tonight.
Is this something, depending on how the team does, that might let carry into the next round and maybe give him more rest?
Well, I think you always are looking at the situation of everything goes into our decision making, whereas he's at is number one. Number two, it would be just like the regular season, rest versus play, where the series at, all those things come into factors.
How hard has it been to keep him off the ice, knowing?
Well, he's hard to keep, he's such a pro. He's such a competitor, obviously. Everybody knows he wants to be in, but the great thing about him is his ability to put his own personal feeling aside and still lead our group like he does. That speaks volumes about his leadership qualities.
Jim, is this something where you make decisions with Patrice and the trainers, or is it basically the trainers call and that's it?
No, I think it's all inclusive, but he's not at the point where he could play tonight, so.
Is that related to illness or the injury he suffered in Montreal?
It's not illness.
Is that the same lineup for a second?
Yes. Hallmark and nets. Same line, same decor.
Jim, with Patrice not available, have you seen Brad to step into that presence or perhaps take on some more responsibility?
I have. He's been excellent. As has the other guys. Everybody knows that you don't fill Patrice's shoes with one person, but I think he's taken the lead. I've heard his voice more in the locker room in between periods, and also the daily times where I'm walking in and talking about what we're going to do in practice. Usually Patrice is talking, I hear Brad talking now. So he's taken it upon himself, and he's a great leader. Like we said all year, we're blessed in leadership qualities.
What are you looking for your team tonight in game two?
Pardon me?
What are you looking for from your team tonight in game two? Obviously a win.
You just keep getting better within our own game, You need to get better. Florida's going to get better. The team that continues to get better is the team that, if you get better throughout the series, you usually win the series. Game ones aren't when the series are won. It's as it continues to advance, and the team that gets better is the one that separates from the other.
You made a point the other night saying you wanted better 5-on-5 play. What specifically are you thinking of it?
Offensively. Speed of which, how we move pucks in all three zones, and the people off the puck more than the puck moving, knowing where the puck's going and getting there. We were slow for us. A lot of that's Florida. They're right on top of us. They're checking really well, but we were slow for us. That didn't, to me, look like Bruins hockey offensively. Defensively, we were pretty good.
Was that lack of pace part of the nerves you talked about the other night?
I would think it's a combination of that and, just the more intense. You don't have as much room and space. It's hard to get to where you want to go. There was a lot of big hits in that game.
A question on Orlov. There haven't been a lot of Russian players over the years. I'd say he's really the most prominent one. At the risk of stereotyping, do the Russians have in your prior experience, other stops, Russians have a certain, style or coachability, anything there?
Yeah, what I've noticed, because I went over and played in Russia for, I guess it was 5.5 months before they sent me home. I didn't want to have an operation there. So they are very careful people. They don't trust people. You really have to earn their trust before they let you in. Once they let you in, they treat you like gold. Like my first 2 months over there was very lonely. My last 3 months was a blast, just because of my teammates and the way they treated me. And I would say that my experience coaching over here, and we had 4 to 5 Russians in St. Louis, is the same thing as being once you gain their trust, now you're in, and now you can joke around and stuff. The one thing that's I've admired about Orly is he hasn't had that wall up right away. He lets you in and he jokes and he's got a quick wit about him, and he's always got a smile and it's very affable. So right away I found my relationship with him has been very much more like a North American relationship.
So as the coach in the St. Louis situation, did you find yourself sort of having to sell yourself, or how do you break that veneer?
Well, I know a little Russian, so that helped.
Okay.
And I did the same thing with Orly. I think he was shocked when I spit out, my name is and how are you doing?
Yeah.
A couple swear words, and we're good to go.
Jim, the other morning you said, your eyes opened at 4:30 and the excitement and everything. How have you personally kind of been since then, and do you feel the temperature down a little bit for game 2 or no?
No, not really. Still really excited. I mean, it's just what a wonderful opportunity it is every day to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and loved the crowd last game. Expect the crowd to be even as noisy or crazier tonight, and just excited about how our group is going to come and start the game tonight.
Anything to read into so many road teams winning in these first games around the league?
I just think the league's close. There's such a fine line between all the teams, especially once you get down to the final 16. That and the first round is the hardest round to win, always.
Jim, the 4 different power play units, is that still about you want to make sure Pasternak's okay to start, or is there something else you're looking for?
No, it's Pasternak's going to start, and I want Krejci starting too.
The Foligno and DeBrusque getting looks in the bumper, what are your early impressions of how they do there?
Well, JD's and Nick are both really good power play guys. And I really like JD in the bumper, in practice and what I saw from him in the game. And I think Nick is a little bit better suited for the net front, but his shot in the bumper is lethal. So again, we got a lot of depth. We got a lot of players that we can move around in holes that makes us not easy to scout, especially when we have, you said 4 units. I looked at that too, but when I'm looking at the way you said it, I understand why you say 4. So Florida's got a lot to prepare for them.
And Taylor Hall not being on them yet, is that just because of the depth, or is there a load management aspect to that?
No, it's depth, and really I thought he was terrific. My ask of him was to be great 5-on-5, and I thought he was our best forward 5-on-5. And I just want him to continue to build on that. And then as he continues to build, the power play could possibly come back, but right now I just want that line to give us an edge.
If Florida gets Sam Bennett back, what else do you have to sort of account for with him, I guess, from what you saw during regular season?
Just another really good hockey player that is a top 6 forward to them. Another guy that's plays the game the right way. He's hard, he's physical, he goes to hard areas. So just another someone that you have to be aware of for that. Makes them more, their depth better.
McAvoy landed 8 hits the other night. Was that a point of emphasis with you going in here, that you wanted him more hit active, if you will?
That's just Charlie being Charlie. He's a competitor, and when the temperature rises and the stakes rise, I think his competitiveness does, and it's already high.
What'd you think of the officiating game 1? I mean, I guess my main question is there sort of that adaptation process going on with the players and the refs, and did you see that around the league as well?
Every game's its own animal. How it's played between the 2 teams, defensive, offensive, chippy, hard hitting. Sometimes it's odd man rush fest. And you can't go into a game knowing what to expect. I don't think refs can either. They just got to call it to the standard that they see. I thought the refs called a good game in game 1. The other games, there's been a lot more penalties. So, you're trying to guess how the game's going to be called. You make a lot of money in Vegas.
I'm just going to follow up just one more time with Taylor Hall, if you don't mind. I would love sort of your big picture experience with him. We obviously know his, from the high expectations early and individual success and things like that with him, but the way he's fit in, or how he's been with this group and kind of relishing another playoff opportunity. Just what's your kind of big picture impression of him and his career arc?
Yeah, well, I just think maturity when I'm looking at his career arc, how much he's matured. I don't know the prior, but just my dealings with him. He's really well read, really well thought out, He knows how he can help a team. And I think that the thing that impresses me most about him is how hard he worked to have to be an opportunity to help us win in the playoffs. And I'm very grateful and proud of him for how hard he's worked. And also that, he's taking any role that I've given him that's the benefit for the Bruins. And that's where I think the Bruins culture, he's epitomizing the Bruins culture of we're team first, we're gonna do what we have to do to put the Bruins in the best position to have success.
You think Bergeron had a specific impact on him, or is that just Bergeron does that with everybody?
Well, Bergeron does that with everybody, but I mean, I think the culture underneath, it's not just Bergeron leads it, he's the head of the snake, but there's a lot of pythons underneath doing the work as well. It's impressive once you're in that locker room. Like I said, I had the easiest job in the NHL because of those guys.
Good.
Thanks, Coach.
Oh, we got a couple of French questions.
Coming up tonight, Marc-Andre?
I mean, if you don't mind.
You can do one.
I don't want anybody to be frustrated. Juste une précision.